What's happening, people, and welcome in to full credit to the boys. And look, I know it's a tough one. It really is, and I'm going to try my best to be as analytical, but also give my raw feelings about the situation. I think first things first is credit to the Titans. They did what they had to do. I want to acknowledge them in terms of that they had a really good plan, and the use of their outside backs was really effective as well. If you notice throughout the game, they would shift side to side, and I think they believed that if they could move us around the park enough times, that things would open up for them, and they surely did. We weren't able to control their middles. They absolutely dominated us. The errors we made, we couldn't handle the pressure. Stupid decisions, everything possible that you can think of under the sun. Just got no words. And guys, I do apologize if I offended anyone in my live. That's just my raw emotion watching the team. And I will always support the boys, but when things, for lack of effort, those little areas for me, they're just tough to accept or to watch. And 66 points to 6 is just unacceptable by anyone's standards. I'm really lost for words, guys, because I had a feeling that I was going to come in and that we were going to do okay. Like, I felt like we were going to get back onto form. I thought what we showed at Melbourne was, I suppose, good, and things got away from us, referees' decisions. But the underlying problems, the 38 points last week and now 66, the underlying problems defensively, but not even that, there's an attitude, those things come back to attitude and effort. Guys not closing gaps, guys not doing the 1%ers. Some coaching decisions, guys out of position, all those things just compiling and add on to the point that you get that performance today. I'm a bit lost for words, and I don't have much else that I can share, but just the raw emotion, I'm just struggling with everything that happened. It was too easy. 11 from 11 kicks again. Some decisions that didn't go our way, but that again, just if I harken back to last week where we felt though that the ref really ruined the still underlying issues that are there. Tamati and SJ's effort today defensively I'm not even really going to talk about attack. Defensive efforts today was just poor. Um, that right edge of RTS and Kossi got caught out so many times. Every part of the field, Dylan Walker on the edge got chewed out. Um, couldn't adjust to the movements. Our middles just couldn't defend or control the middle. In attack, we got dominated. Guys turned over. Everything that you could imagine. So I'll leave it there, guys, and I'll hit the comments now. But for me, it's just unacceptable. And whatever Webby's response, he needs to respond quickly. He needs to respond effectively, and whatever those changes need to be, they need to be made. So, this is the lowest of his tenure for sure. This is probably the lowest point I've been at as a content creator. I've been a fan since day dot, but as a content creator supporting the team, coming from I started in 2023 up to this point. This is probably the lowest. Well, it definitely is the lowest point that I've reached. And some big questions need to be asked, and that's ultimately where things at. Is this a game you can kind of dust your shoulders off, move on? Probably not. I think ultimately there's some, the decisions around certain positions and what the game plan wasn't effective today. And I suppose Webby will have to hold that based on his decision making and some things that he's done this year. He'll have to be accountable for that. But I just didn't see any passion in the boys today. Didn't see any willingness, venom. The legs were tired from the get go. They struggled to deal with that C&K. That was probably his worst. He's been great, and that was his worst performance. ASB was pedestrian. Ford, the errors came back. To my there, not enough. Sean, defensively poor. All of that. Just felt like watching a team of just average players, and a game plan that didn't adapt. And that can be scary, definitely. So anyway, that's enough of me ranting. I'll get into these comments now. Big up everyone in the chat. Let me go back to the top here. Thank you everyone for coming in. Yeah, Richard, absolutely slapped up. Jordan, appreciate the love still. Yeah, hey, and guys, we'll try our best to be as analytical as possible. I know I was probably a bit too negative that's my natural reaction, but I'm trying to process things. Appreciate if we can keep it the analysis on the game. But appreciate the love. Thanks, Jez. Yeah. Thank you, Crossmove. I appreciate everyone. Yeah, it is what it is, people. Steph Boy, Webby has to make some hard calls and needs to make some changes. Obvious from this game and the season out of grasp. Just quickly on this, I think this is about SJ. I just saw he was crying. We went to the sheds and was crying. It was sad to watch, to be honest. Made me realize he's just a dude and he's going to get torched online, rightfully so, for his play. I understand it. And yeah, as much as it is Shea, we had a poor game, the team performance, the mindset, everything was off today. Hey, Tony. Hate to point fingers because no one played well. Time to give a couple of the cup boys a chance. MGT needs another start in the centres or wing. He was outstanding. I agree. I think there's some of those decisions need to be made now. And based off of that performance, the guys that come up as not performing to the standard, I thought Marata was great today. Individually but all the other players as well need a good look at themselves, and if they do need to be dropped, that's understandable. Jazz up the national schoolboys marbles. Into Webby saying, I feel for SJ, but this is on Webb for bringing him back too early, especially when we were on our roll. Webb needs to own this RTS SJ more than Sawyer. You know what? That might be a real good call. I think it's these last two losses are highlighting even more how good things were going previously to Mighty CHT, but all the cup boys that were coming in. And if Sean has been come back too early, he looks nicked up again. That is on the coach. That is on the conditioning program or whoever. It really needs to be looked at. They plan to run over SJ and it worked. 14 drop balls and still same like a pub team. SJ has been getting targeted in defense, and he's actually been poor. He's actually been really poor. Jacko here saying perhaps the time is arriving fast to really look a couple years into the future and start a proper rebuild of the team. It's not unrealistic. I thought this team had something to do it in 2024. How quickly the game changes, how quickly other teams improve, how quickly form can drop, how quickly guys can get old. Tohu feels old now, right? Just from play. P-Shake, welcome in, man. Tricky season, really. Have we had the luxury of naming the side 2 weeks in a row this year? Each week, new combos playing out of position makes it tougher. It is. That is a good point, P-Shake. And that has been the difficulty for Webby. He's been trying to find answers with injuries happening all the time. And when he's tried to find answers, they haven't been the answer, unfortunately, a lot of the time. Except for when we had that good run with the Cup boys. But yeah, it's real disappointing. I totally get it. It's been one of those. It has been take away everything else. It's been a tricky season to have a consistent run. Jono saying, I don't believe he brought SJ back too early. His head just isn't in the right place, and it's showing. That's a good call too. It doesn't look right. I don't know what's happened, if he's gotten demoted and he's taken offense to that, or what the call is. The energy, the vibe is, like you're saying, isn't feeling right. CHT and TMM have chemistry, and that's not a criticism of SJ. SJ looks banged up. Yeah, they're all valid comments, people. I appreciate it, and we're trying to find answers, aren't we? And Jacko here saying, agree, Jono, playing two halves was always a danger. I just defensively, like, I know everyone, we want to fix that attack, but when you're leaking 66 points, someone's going to be accountable. Maybe our middles this year, we can come to some form of agreements. They're just not performing. They're just not up to it this year. Tony Dubs saying the rebuild should start next week. And thank you, Jazz. Appreciate it always. Hit the likes, fan. Win or lose, support these brothers who ride us with us no matter what. Hey, we appreciate that. If you can, guys, hit a like and subscribe. We love it. Into Webby saying SJ had ice on his quad groin after the game. Maybe that's injuries. Well, Chris, don't say it, man. Well, what's scary is we have the Broncos next week, and let's see how fast this rookie coach can pull us back up. Because history will say that we will not go well for the rest of the season. Yeah. I think Webby's guys. I think Webby's a good coach, but He probably for himself say he's made some poor decisions, or the messaging isn't maybe not getting out, and maybe that's wearing thin. We'll know if the boys continue not to turn up. But this is a big challenging period for a coach when now you go into 2 losses and it's almost season's over. Tony Dub, we had no D at all. Pause. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Worst part is Titans scored more points in the second half. Couldn't even tighten things up, and that was my point too. Was that you could have gone to halftime, said, "Hey guys, this is not our day. We're going to take this loss, but let's give the fans, let's give ourselves, show ourselves that we care enough to want to be able to turn this around and win the second half." That's what you could have done. Jackson 4, is it too early to get into your preferred team for next week? Look, I just want someone that can tackle. I just want a defensive. I'll take 17 of the best defensive players. I don't even want to score points. I just want to defend our line. Whoever that might be, put them in. I think we've been mixing and matching and trying to find answers all year. Some players just haven't been up to it. And that's it for me. That's really for me where we're at. It's time for Weary to drop some players to cup and bring boys down Panthers and Dolphins. I agree. I actually agree. Bad game for supporters, but good game for Webby to reflect on some massive hurdles from Killer. Absolutely. This is again stepping back. Second year coach at a blazing start, and vice versa. You look at Serraldo, had a horrible season last year, and now it's kind of turning for him. These are the growing pains for young coaches, new coaches, and it'll probably end up being a year he'll reflect on and say, and learn from it, and build differently moving forward. But there's a lot for him to learn and break down. But I agree, Killer. I absolutely agree. Webster's a good coach, but he is in the infancy of his head coach career. Hopefully, he's learning harsh lessons. Yep, this is one of them. I mean, I doubt there's any coach that hasn't had a hiding. Probably what? Bellamy, maybe? Or every coach has had one of these. Some more than others. You look at Tigers coaches, Madge, Jazz, good question, bro. Leave not to put you on the spot, but is there a way for you to stream the presser with a slight filter on the vid or something? It'd be awesome to watch together, I think. Hey, is it out there, Jazz? Is it on Fox Sports? Good shot, man. Let me just try and see if I can pull it up. Hopefully it won't get pinged. I'll look into that. Okay. Yeah, when does it get dropped? Let me know, bro. I'll definitely look into it. Okay, thank you, Interwebby. I'm not sure. Is it on NRL.com? Can you guys tell me what website it's on? This is a big one for me. Steph is absolutely right. From the start, they were going. Sorry, put that comment back up. Going through the motion. Sorry, man. My thing's a bit delayed. Okay, Steph. Anyway, Steph was saying from the start they were going through the motions. What has changed on defense last year to this year? I think it's energy. Guys getting a little bit old. I think, if you looked at the back end of last season, we were already kind of seeing the breakdown of Toru Harris, who's showing, the Egan isn't reliable for 80 minutes completely. Walker's body's starting to break down a bit. I think there's just the wear and tear of the NRL competition is finally catching up, and teams that have a bad year last year are starting to pick up. It's just that It's a very good teams that stay on top. Unfortunately, we're in that position now where we've lost a bit of our, you know, a mystique, should we say? Again, you sort of look at the shape and it's easy to defend. Teams are kind of more clued on. I think they have to make a call on Sean and Tamari. That's just not going to work now. And I was, big up to everyone that said, nah, it's not going to work. I wanted to give it one chance, and it just doesn't look like anyone's taking real ownership. So for me, it's probably I'd go to Mighty and CHT. Sean and CHT might be good, but where he's at right now physically, if he's got a quad injury, all of that, it's just that's not working. But we going through the motions is just you can't do that in the NRL, man. You cannot do that in the NRL. NRL.com. Okay, thank you guys. Let me just try and see if I can share it. I'm sure it won't get pulled up. Most stuff from website. Okay. Okay, let me just zoom out. What section is it on? Is it in maybe try watch. See what that does. You know what section it is in, guys, in NRL.com where I go to? Under what tab? I'm trying to look for it, but I'll watch live. Is that what it is? Our press conference. Here we go. Okay. Guys, if it gets shut down, Emmanuel, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, it's just got some music. I'll wait till Webby comes up. It's got. I'll just keep checking back and forth. Um, just K's. Have not been able to unlock RTS Sawyer. Where can we put him, like wing or something? RTS for me, guys. I've been trying to be nice to him and stuff. Just doesn't fit our vibe. Doesn't fit our vibe for some weird reason. Best spot would probably be wing. I don't know if he's past it or it just doesn't seem to fit what we were trying to do here. Yeah, the RTS thing, it's just not going to work. I agree with Jackson in any form for me, even wing. Like he's too passive in his reads, all of that stuff. I think you're better off with Dallin and Montoya. I think the RTS thing is just not going to work ultimately, and that's my concern. Sometimes when you force signings like that didn't technically need to be done. As much as I've been trying to accommodate from you guys, know me, I've been trying to be as positive as I can. Emmanuel's saying Roger isn't past it. He's not. If he's not there, he's better off in reserve grade. Well, that's it. Maybe you're right, Emmanuel. Maybe if he's not a fullback, he shouldn't be there. But whatever he's done on the field this season hasn't been up to it. Thank you, Tay. Yeah, pump the likes, people. Still pump the likes. Still show some love. We can. Last style. Swap everyone in the cup team for a game. Hey, Chris. Our attitude was just poor tonight, and you just get found out. And the Titans played with speed, and we looked like old boys played. Got ran around and through. I just wasn't expecting this performance. Yeah, man. Wasn't expecting it myself either, guys. Really wasn't expecting myself. Yeah, Moala is a crazy talent. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, there's this underlying thing where but we just haven't been right all season, really. And I can't put my finger on it. I mean, there's the obvious ones, like the guys are a little bit old. RTS hasn't worked. Injuries. There's those obvious ones, but even then, this team just doesn't seem right. I honestly feel like AFB is probably just dipping in form a little bit. He's probably on the out. He's slightly dipped out. You know what I mean? Um, um, yeah, bouncing Jackson Ford in and out. He's been great, Jacko, but it's just I can't put my finger to it, guys. It's really frustrating. Um, yeah, and there's talking about oldness. That's a very good valid point. We need some speed. I mean, look at this. We got destroyed by speed, young speed today. Kelly, Khan Pereira, Keanu Kinney, what a mate game from, and what's his name killed us as well. Um, yeah, this one here. Walker was weak tonight in the wrong spot. Yeah, he just doesn't have that lateral movement. Walks for that role. He was in the wrong spot tonight. AFB is definitely just coming through the motions. Still good, but not great. Yeah, the defensive detail from me watching him play defense. If you look at him off the ball, he's just not quite giving his best. And not just him. I mean, everyone else is poor as well. I thought Jazz made some horrible. Walker was probably the worst today. But ultimately, yeah, the energy was. And this is good, Jacko. Yeah, I'm not blaming Walks either. I think, I said put Walks in the middle, push it forward out, bring Bunty on, and change the bench accordingly. That was my thought process anyway. I mean, I can't put my finger on it. A lot of these guys either rewinded the clock back or had their career best seasons last year. They reverted back to factory settings, and now we're stuck with a bunch of washed up players. Here we go. Washed up players is always going to be hard to replicate. This is what I actually thought too. If I go back to, I did a video, guys, on TikTok, and I said, James Graham said we wouldn't make the 8, and I tried to justify it by saying that, adding RTS and the coaches instilled a good system, and I said I didn't expect the players to revert back to the mean that they were previously in 2022. Dallin 27 tries? He's maybe got 7 so far this season. That's maybe 5. That's maybe 22 tries that he might end up with like 10 or 12. So that's almost half your points gone. Yeah, I thought the guys would hold. I even justified AFB kind of maintaining, but we're seeing a little bit of a dip. I thought SJ would maintain, but yeah, ultimately, I think he's dipped in form. But I think a lot of guys have come back to the mean. And yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because last year was such a good year, and you thought that you can go on. But if you really look at it, and it's good chat, guys, good talking it. The more I talk it out, maybe the more I'm finding answers. But I think the core nucleus of this team is quite old, and there will be. I always felt as though that this was the year to this was the last window for that core, and then you'd rebuild. And ultimately, I'd like to hear what you guys think. Is it rebuild right now, or you wait till the end of the year and you plan that? So for me, most likely Sean doesn't resign or doesn't get re-signed. Tohu may look to retire this year. You start really looking at everything's and what you want to do to build this team moving forward with younger players. And the signing of I saw Tans coming up earlier. The signing of Capewell just doesn't match where we're going to. So I presses on. Thank you. Let me bring this on, guys. Sorry, my bad.
Any team's capable. They're very capable of destroying you, and they did that.
How do you explain, like, a couple of weeks ago, you had Rod Livingston, one of your best friends.
Yep.
The whole of the blokes out against the Dolphins at home.
Yep.
And you come here and you showed up. As a coach, how do you explain that sort of turn?
Well, I was just saying to the boys, like we had a 3-week period there were unbelievable. Even like the week after the Dolphins, we got a lot of good players, like a lot of senior players back, and I thought we went up to North Queensland, had a great win there, and then against Melbourne last week was certainly physical. Like we obviously got beaten, but we certainly played in the right spirit, the way we want to play. I just feel like I said to the boys, like it's amazing. You can't take anything for granted in this game. You think you're going well. Like I didn't see us complacent or anything like that. I saw us confident, not overconfident. But yeah, you take things for granted and you can get kicked in the face pretty quick. And that's why this game's so good, because it's not easy. Like you want to have a day like that and turn up and do that. That's what you're going to get, and that's what you deserve at the back of it. But to answer your question, like, how do you explain it? It's yeah, we obviously took for granted how well we were going and what we were doing each week to prepare, and yeah, we got what we deserved on the field.
Can you come back from it? Or if you think you can, what can you come back from this? How many teams have
Yeah. Yeah, no, we can definitely come back from it. We've got a lot of quality players and good people. We've got people who are here for the right reasons, people who want to win, and they want to win for New Zealand Warriors. They want to win for each other. And they're proud people. We're a proud club. And today is obviously very embarrassing. But we can definitely come back. Yeah, the way we attack things from here is going to be the most important thing.
Well, you've already got a sold-out stadium at Mount Smart next week for the Brisbane Broncos game. What do you say to the fans back home who have already got their tickets to go to Mount Smart next week after that performance today? What do you say to the fans?
Shut up.
Well, we've got to repay the faith that they've had in us. Like their support for us has been outstanding, and so has the fans that live away from New Zealand, and like we are embarrassed of the performance we put out there tonight, and the thought of doing that at home like just doesn't sit well. So we can't afford to have 2 of those in a row.
You can go ahead, John.
Andrew, I'm sure you would say Sean's to blame for your loss today, but how do you get him back playing his best football? He doesn't seem to have that spark that he had previously. Is that how you see it, and where does he need to get to?
I think if we turned up today and we were physical and we really went after the opposition and we wanted to win that battle, I feel like you might have saw the best in Sean today. And at the end of the day, when we got rolled completely down the field, and every single player was accountable for that today. Like if we had heaps of ball or something like that, and we go forward and our defence was amazing, I feel like we could start talking about halfbacks and fullbacks and hookers and how could you improve things and change things. Today we weren't there physically, but absolutely dominated. So to be talking about those things off the back of that, I just think it's the wrong day for him.
Is Sean fit? He looks like he's struggling a bit with the hamstring.
Yeah, he picked up something today. So he was fit, but picked up something today. So he's obviously got a tight hamstring, he's got ice on it. So yeah, we'll reassess where he's at.
Is he battling through those things? I mean, is that what he's trying to do for the team? Is that how you see it?
Well, we were really clear that we wanted to give him 2 weeks off, head into the bye. We even gave him another week off after. We just wanted to give him every opportunity to get himself back to where he was. And he did that. Like he felt really confident, felt really comfortable. He trained well. So, but yeah, I mean, he could be fine for next week, by the way. But yeah, he at the end of the game looked like he's limping. And, we've got to make sure we get a fit Sean on the field.
You talked about the. Sorry, go ahead.
It happens so fast for you, those things, honestly. you're worried about the next thing so much. I'm not worried at this stage. I mean, he got up, Sammy, and played on. Is that the one you're talking about? So yeah, I feel like if they were real worried about it, they would have given him 10 in the bin or sent him off. So yeah, but like I said, I didn't watch the replay that often. I was just so interested in what was going to happen next. So yeah.
Were you surprised by Rogers' tin bin?
So same scenario. Roger got penalised for the tackle, and straight away Rog goes to the bin. I've got to try and move someone to right centre, and then someone to left back row, and gets it moves fast. And I'm sure you guys get to sit there and watch the replays in close view. We've got,
I think Webby wants to jump on the table right now and just start lining everyone up.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter, but the Jackson Ford no try at 24-0 would have made it 24-6. It was ruled no try by the bunker, and then it's 30-0 at halftime.
Oh, shut up, man. These guys are just trying to rub it in.
Do you understand that to be a try where he came down on the goal line with the ball between forearm and chest? No separation?
Look, I feel like I'm sitting on the fence here. I'm not. I literally don't. Like, I'm all gutted that we didn't score and then they scored straight after. I'm all gutted that we're 24-0 down in that situation. I would have loved to, and maybe could have given us a spark if we got the try there. But I think it's pretty clear for everyone, the whole stadium, everyone at home. Like, yeah, we didn't deserve anything today. We got what we were soft. That's pretty well.
What's your coaching philosophy, Webby, when it's such a bad performance? And you obviously look back at last week, wasn't like that, but how do you approach next week's team selection when it really was, you were so heavily dominated?
Yeah, I think you got to be consistent like this. You got to look at it. You got to try and take all the emotion out of it, because if you picked the team next week tonight, I don't know if we'd have a team because 1 to 17 was really poor. You got to look at it. Okay, where did we go wrong? Did we do anything well? If we did, let's talk about it. And what was our preparation like? Because I thought it was good, and ask them. And then we've got to come up with a plan how we're going to win this week. Can't look too far ahead. And my philosophy is we've got to stay tight as a team. We've got to show some care for each other and not point the finger. And we're all in this together. And yeah, I'll be fighting with the boys too. Like I'm part of this, and I'm not. My philosophy is I'll take ownership too.
You got the Broncos this week, Andrew. You played in the prelim final, obviously at Suncorp, but you're both in a situation where you absolutely need to chalk up more wins. It really is at your home grounds. It's a huge game, isn't it? Like, do you think your players should be able to get up to that? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, especially after today, like there needs to be a response, doesn't there? So that's what we're going to be after, and against a good team, and on our home patch, and both teams are going to be desperate. So, I mean, we've got more to play for than just 2 points. We've got to get our pride back. We've got to go after it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
That was Andrew Webster, guys. What'd you make of that? I saw in the comments a lot of people saying you're moving in the chair shows emotional damage. I think there's a bit of that. Ultimately doesn't have the answers. And I think you're just trying to media savvy through that kind of process. Go absolutely dominated, agreed to that. All those things. Owns accountability. But man, it's a tough one to take as a coach, right? To take those questions. But yeah, a lot to absorb. Let me know what you guys think in the chat there. Yeah, there's definitely Tahi. That's a good call. I think everyone was just the whole 1 to 17. Just wasn't really Really poor. Didn't give me much confidence, Jazz. Just, I understand it. I understand it. I've kind of watched a lot of Webby's presses, and I think he does try to navigate a way through questioning sometimes. Like, we never hear him really blame the referees, and I understand he wants to keep the guys accountable. When there's times he could, really call out the refereeing decisions, all of that stuff. Checo saying, I still feel more positive about next week than I did going into this. There'll be a response for sure. Yeah. Well, there better be. There better be. Hayden saying, I don't think there is answers. We just seem exhausted as a team. Yeah, the team feels as though it's on the actual construction of the team feels ultimately down. The legs and the core, the processing unit looks like it's on its last legs. The actual motor or the engine of the actual whole team feels real flat, and it's struggling. It's struggling to get itself up for games, struggling to reboot or whatever the analogy is. But just the whole core of this team is and fullback studios. Yes, not to go on about the rest, but we're stuck the win out of momentum, and momentum is everything in this game. There are definitely calls at times where I think the refs are they avoid accountability for their actions, and I think this goes for every team. But momentum is a massive factor. Benji, I think we can all agree. I just want to see some fight next week, especially from our big boys. I honestly, for me, the only real solution to this is if you come back and you pummel the Brisbane Broncos, if you destroy them, and you leave no doubts in people's heads that we mean business. If you can't do that, if you'd like sneak a win, that type of thing, that means, yeah, you're going to try, but you're not going to really try. I think you should come into the mentality and say, we're going to dominate next week. We're going to dominate. Maybe when the winger strolled under the post for that first shot, danger signs. No, I actually thought that too. I was like, how did he get underneath that post? And I just, you watch guys in defensive line, like so when I'm watching it, guys, I'm not actually watching the Titans attack. I'm seeing everyone else around, in different spots of that defensive line, and just see what their attitude is. And today, you could just tell these guys were not up for it. Not physically, not one bit, emotionally, anything. They were just flat. And these are guys that have performed, for us. I'm not saying they're done. I'm just saying today in particular, for whatever reason, the energy was super flat. Tanya's saying, Webby knows what's up. He answered, pretty honestly, we'll definitely see changes next week after this. Yep. Jazz saying, Webby, get our hookers kicking out of dummy half, please. I just don't think we have hooker. I think you could Lussick's one, but Egan, for whatever reason, just doesn't kick. Whether he's been instructed to or he just doesn't want to do it. And he's our main hooker. You're just not going to get much kicking out of dummy half. CHT might be the only option. Just systematically under Webster, we haven't even explored it. Rocky saying, get some youth and enthusiasm back into the team. Jacob Laban run from the line, drop out. Look like the Warriors only run with intent. Crossmovement saying RTS to wing. I just don't rate RTS right now. Don't think he's the answer. Don't think he's the solution. He does little errors and drop balls and little details of his game. He's been really poor. RTS is yeah. Bunty will lead us back to the problems. Hey T. RTS to Japan. Yo, Philip. You're going to Philip. They are, Jimmy. Ebbs and flows, and when you rob momentum, it changes that. I mean, this game has, the current NRL product. Once teams get that roll on, so hard to stop. The big one for me was the RTS went for the big moment was when RTS tried to go for the catch instead of defending the tackler. And that's why we talked about, guys, when they scored off of that. That's why we talked about why Berry hasn't been contesting. If your other defenders aren't aware of or going to be able to help you out, like Kossi or whoever's around the ball, aren't aware of the potential that Brian Kelly could have caught the ball and ran off with it, that's probably why you don't jump and try and go for the ball. That was a turning point for me. I felt like just that decision by RTS kind of went against what we try to do as a team. And that's why ultimately I just feel he doesn't have the right feel for this team. He doesn't quite fit in. His efforts off the ball for me just were poor. Like, couldn't catch Fafita. Just doesn't look right in this team. And as much as I've tried to accommodate him, just don't think it's going to work. Bunty is an actual genuine shout. I know he's an actual genuine shout. He could definitely do a job. We missed that size a little bit in the middle. I know Jackson's been great, but I think we need a bit more control in the middle. And I think Bunty does give you that. But again, it's like Webby's been moving positions around and then you've been losing a bit of that. Like I said, all this mixing and matching, it's not mixing and matching like elite players. It's mixing and matching good players or average players and then changing them around. So it's not like you're improving from making a change. You're solving one problem and then the other problems popping up in a different part of the field. Like Dylan Walker today, pushed him out to an edge and then they leaked points through that channel when you could have maybe put Jackson Ford out there and you kept Dylan. Just you're moving parts around and they're what's those like the carnival, the circus, and you're hitting the with the hammer, you're hitting the things that pop up and then they pop up somewhere else, you're gonna hit that and then the other one pops up. It's just time zone or whatever. When you're going with the old hammer, the bang, bang, bang. They're just popping up everywhere else. Oh my. Yeah, Bunty, he is. We're missing him a little bit. He's lost a bit of top end. Been figured out. He's ultimately been figured out in a lot. Like those yardage runs aren't. He's not fully breaking the line and all that. Whether that's a positional thing or a coaching structure, not getting him in good places. The problem with the system is that the system isn't about creating space for one guy. It's about creating opportunities for everyone keyed off of one. Now, if one guy wants to be the focus point, that's easy to shut down. If people know you're going to go to Roger, they'll just jam him. You need guys in this system to be able to do a job. So for Roger, he has to do a job. He has to run strong lines. He has to defend hard. Those are all the little things that Berry and Poppy do so well. They do the stuff where you're not the focal point, the off the ball stuff. That's your job. And he's not going to get attention in the system. And for me, like details wise, he's not at that level. And I think we need to really start seriously talking about him as something different. Hey, my man, I'm going to bring on my man Ty. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I don't know if that's the right. Oh, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Talk to me, bro. Talk to me. Like, I'm just going to be quiet for a little bit, bro. Do your thing. I just need to shut up for a little. I need to shut up for a little bit. I need to get some fluid.
I felt your pain, bro. As I was watching you watch along, I felt your pain. But What is there left to say? That was shit. that's the only word I can think of right now. I have to say maybe for the first 2 sets, it looked like we were keeping them down there, and maybe it was going to look great for us, and then it just went all downhill. And what part to pick apart? there's so many things to talk about, but I will have to say that I know the coaching has been trying to be really good by the team, and pick players not just on necessarily merit, but merit over the years and what they've got. But I feel like you got to pull out the X. That was just horrible to watch. I just finished doing a little review, and I was like, man, I think I gotta get away from Warriors for a minute before I lose my head. So yeah, that's all I can say at the moment.
Nah, bro. Yeah, I mean, like, it's honestly, man, this is I really, when I was doing my watch along, I was really keen to break it down, and I just got to a point I just couldn't speak. I was like, I got nothing less to say. Like, there's no real answers. And maybe my man Ash, who's just been at the game, he might have something to say, bro.
Boys, sorry for the echoes. Just walking to try and get to a car to get home, but yeah, you probably saw it a lot better than me. But our middle defense, just like contacting defense, energy, A marker. We had a double change, Chanel and Jazzy coming on. I'm not blaming Chanel or Jazzy, but they came on, and it's just Chanel was missing tackles for the middle. The missed tackle rate, bro, was just it just felt like we were getting flooded. Like everything was just not going our way. There's so much to talk about, right? Like, and hopefully, I'll watch the game. We'll sit down and talk to you boys. But I know a lot of people are going to be blaming Shawnee right now. And honestly, yeah, like attacking wise, that wasn't good enough. And I don't think Shawnee and Tamade work. And I think we've all pictured that out. And I'll put my hands up and say I'm wrong too in a couple of moments. But defensively, though, is where we lost that game. Like 10 line breaks or something they got on us to nil?
Yeah, bro, crazy.
That's on a different level. And I questioned the Dylan Walker move to start. I thought, it was a foil. Like, he's going to change that lineup. Someone's going to come and play edge. Like for Dylan. Dylan's not an edge back rower, bro. He's not an edgy. I would say that in moments Webby did get it wrong, but also just the energy of some of the boys out there didn't look good tonight at all. And I'm
What was
questioning
it like in
something
warm-ups,
going on.
bro? What was it like in warm-ups?
Good
Bro,
question.
we got there just on kickoff. We had the rush to
Okay.
get there on kickoff because it was pretty packed. But I'm not going to insinuate anything, but I feel like there's something going on. And Adge just walked straight off the field after the game. Like he didn't come see the fans at all. Like, was it everyone else, bro? Well, we had everyone else just go around the field, like getting signatures, like signing people. And like Tamade, bro, was awesome. He had like a little family base. He did so much, but something's going on, bro. No, you don't just drop 66 points like that. Like,
Yeah.
Well, our biggest margin we lost by, I think, was the Roosters game, right? 20. Before that, we hold in. Usually, we only lose by 1 to 12. That's the Titans, bro.
100. I know what they did for the warm up, bro. I think they showed up at the same time as you, bro.
What I also do say, shout out to Bunty and Lussick. They went through about a good 10 to 20 minute warm down at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing to try and play that game speed. But the whole way through, I was like, boys, just go to the I'm lost for words, boys. I really don't know what happened out there. I really don't. Like, I'd say our edges are getting pipped apart, but our middles aren't really covering and linking in from the inside either.
Yeah, there's massive gaps. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Jaden Campbell was just coming off his left foot, and there was just gaping holes. There's just no cover. And I don't know, bro. I'll have to watch it properly because obviously watching it at the game, you see so many different. But what you do see at the game is the energy levels, and it just wasn't there.
Yeah, just flat, eh? Like, Ty, what do you think, man? I just thought, like, ultimately, just no energy.
Yeah. I thought the same. I thought there was no energy, and I'll be honest, like you kind of have seen this throughout past weeks as well. Not like this in terms of a full game, like no energy, but you've just seen moments, and maybe it's been building up till now. Maybe this was the time to see it. Just against last place, it's just hard to take. It's really hard to take that.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
guess a question,
all right,
bro,
boys.
for you, Ash. Oh, sorry, I was
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
ask you, Ash.
No,
I
you're
know
on.
that this is considered our second home because there was a lot of look like supporters out there. Did they go
Yeah.
home early? What did they do? I know yourself stayed around. Did everyone else stay around?
Yeah, there was a lot that went home early, bro.
Fair enough.
Hold on.
Ah,
I'm just in the elevator right now. Oh, we should be
man.
right. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, no, like there was a lot of fans leaving out, but there was a ton of fans that actually stayed. And shout out to all those like real fans that stayed all the way. Like we got out in the field after the game too. We got led on the field. I spoke to BKR Sport, is a Titans content
Yep.
creator out there. Had a really good chat, but yeah, bro, a lot of fans stayed. It just shows how many fans we have at the Goldie, but a lot of fans left too. So call them the bandwagon ones, huh? Hold up, I'm driving, Bubba. I gotta go, guys. I'm
I got my
so
man.
sorry, but I just thought to jump on and appreciate
Yeah,
you guys.
no,
I know LeBron, big night tonight, but we'll get back on the horse.
no. All good, brother. Thanks, Ash, for jumping in, man.
Take it easy,
Stay
boys.
safe, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
see
talk
ya.
soon, Ty. We'll catch up soon too, bro. Appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
King.
Later, boys.
Bro, I'll just quickly jump on there. Ash's thought about the background. Something's happening, like the vibe is off, bro. Are you sensing something like that as well?
Yeah, obviously, we don't get to see behind closed doors what's going on, but for me, if you've got a team that displays this kind of lack of enthusiasm, lack of energy, you have to kind of suggest that there's something going on, and it goes all the way back to that, incident with Adam missing kind of the end of the game. And again, personally, I don't know what's going on, so I can't say this is happening or what's happening, but it's just like there has to be a reason. You can't just collapse like this and not come out and want to play. And for me too, like I didn't even realize until doing the review, we lost the first half 30-0 and we lost the second half 36-6. So obviously the halftime prep the halftime, pep talk didn't even work either. Kind of just fell
Yeah.
apart. So and for me, it shows that there's no, not to say that there's no buy-in, but they're not buying in for some reason. So there has to be something that we don't know about. And again, I don't want to insinuate that there is, but you just don't play like that unless there's something going on.
Yeah, it's hard to like piece together like everything. I mean, obviously, when you see a performance on the field, you might associate that with something happening off field because just know that there's always that kind of correlation when guys aren't putting in. It's either they want to leave the club or they want to get a new contract or whatever it is. But I just don't understand why. And maybe I can understand maybe Webby being figured out as a coach, and like sometimes it's hard to motivate guys to kind of do the same thing. I thought, what did you think of the attack? I thought it was just on repeat cycle with no real intent. I thought Marata was the only guy that really put an effort in. What do you think of the attack?
Yeah, I agree. And I was going off the stats. We didn't. What is it? Under 70% completion rate. So we didn't really, have too much of the ball. And also credit to the Titans. They stuffed a lot of stuff. Like we were trying to do stuff, and they actually matched us. So give all credit to them. But I'll be one to say that about 5-6 weeks ago, I was saying like, no, we got to stick to this game plan. There's a reason why we've got this game plan. I felt like, I don't know, man. This kick to the right hand corner, I'm over it. Like I am really over it.
I know.
And I feel like there needs to be some variation. It's not to say that we shouldn't bomb to the corner at all, but it just feels like we are playing into the opposition's hand. They know what to do, and then they kind of attack us off the back of that. Where I felt when it was just Timothy Martin and CHT there. And again, not to say that the Sean Johnson and Timothy Martin experiment's not working, but it just felt like there was variation. They were going left sometimes. They were doing a grubber instead of cooking it. So I don't know. It just feels like the game plan needs to change, or maybe some personnel needs to change. I don't know. I'm a little bit going off energy.
No. Bro, I agree with you too. Like I honestly think that there was more variety in the kicking game with CHT and Tamaide. that kept the teams balanced, kept teams guessing. I think today we're just sort of reverting back to, the old method with Sean, and whether or not that's to Mighty, like obviously, like maybe giving the reins to Sean and Sean kind of just doing what he does. It's just you have to be adaptable and you have to change your approach, and
Yep.
That's just it's not good enough, ultimately. And
Agreed.
and you got to make the changes that you got to make. I thought guys like Dylan Walker and he just isn't suited to that type of contact where you're catching the ball on the edge and going over, and the Jackson Ford one where he could have scored, and it was just a real bad event of. I thought even there was a period where they used Marata underneath too much because he was gassed. Like he was still strong, but he wasn't making that breakthrough, and I thought he was just a bit tired, and they just made some really like poor decisions around how they're attacking structures and what they wanted to do with the ball. I feel like the edges on both sides were just not in sync attack wise. Just what is sort of maybe jump to RTS, bro. What did you make of his performance? And I mean, this he just hasn't for me kind of fitted in. Is he an out and out winger, or is he a fullback, or what do we do with him? What's your thoughts?
Good question, bro. To be honest, I don't think he got enough ball to kind of really say, if he's still, got something there. Because even when he did, he had that one shot against Jaden Campbell, right? And Jaden read him. He knew their left step was coming and took him. And then obviously he got Simbin, so that just adds to kind of the dilemma of or the narrative, whether he should be there or not. But also, the 3 wins we had with Pompey, I thought he did well. But the last 2 weeks, he's looked really questionable on defense, and he showed again with some of his reads today. Just that didn't help. So we've got 2 centers potentially not living up to. So we've got to have one of them in at least. So I don't know, man. I think I would have to do a full-on review to say whether is it shifting RTS to another position that needs to happen. I still think he's got a lot to offer. We know he's got a lot to offer, but we just not being able to see it. And we thought maybe flipping him onto Sean Johnson's side, we would have saw something different today. But maybe they just didn't have enough ball, or maybe it's just not working. It's hard to say for me personally, but I'm still in the camp of having Chan still at the back, even Tuopiki replacing him. I do obviously RTS. He's obviously been rated best fullback in one of his years, but I still like them at the fullback. But I don't know if whether it's centre or wing he needs to be in a position. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing, eh? It's like there's no easy solution. Like we have no real concrete data that's going to work, or if you move him there, it'll work. It's just, I mean, I've been a bit strong in my comments saying that I just don't think he fits the squad, and but in saying that, he's been in and out. I think one thing's for certain is that his adjustment back in to even a baseline level for the NRL has been hard. Would you agree with that? Like, it's been difficult for him, and it's not that he can't keep up physically most of the time. It's like the little errors, the little details. It's just kind of the mental side of the game has changed so much that he's struggling with it. Do you think?
Yeah, I think that's fair comments, and I think part of it is he's a bit on the older side now, which is actually he's younger than me, but in this game of NRL, it's considered older when you're in your 30s, and I think a little bit of that, and then also I think for rugby, I think a lot of those boys over there, they're kind of built a bit more bigger and a bit more different to handle the ruck. Where I feel like, again, I'm not to say that he's physically out of shape or anything. I just feel like there's some adjustment that's still happening, and I don't think it's helped too that he's switched a few different positions. Since he's been back, he's never actually been able to hold just place into the whole time he's been here too. So I think it's a bit of him adjusting and also a bit of the coaching, obviously trying to move him around. That's probably not given him the best kind of foundation to kind of play with. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, and like I think the fact that we kind of felt it was plug and play with him coming in, it just
Yep.
hasn't eventuated. But you know, I'm not going to blame him for everything that happened today. That's for sure.
For sure. But yeah, I was just quickly going to pop on.
Okay,
I think
bro. Yeah.
I
I
need
don't want to hold
to
you
give
too long.
I think my mental health is nah.
Yeah, no.
No, but I enjoyed this and I love having this conversation. But yeah, I think I got to go put my boys to sleep and go do something a bit more positive in my life.
I was there. I'm gonna honestly switch this off soon, and then I'm gonna get a bounce out of here, watch a movie or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but Ty, bro, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on and just supporting and yeah, having someone to talk. It's great, bro. And if you guys don't know, obviously you see Ty Warriors Fan TV, but definitely a big supporter of us, man. Thank you for popping in. I'll let you go, man. I'm gonna shut this down soon as well. So.
Oh, good, bro.
Thanks,
Thanks
bro.
for having me on. Peace.
All good, bro. Peace, brother. That was yeah, my man Ty. He's absolutely awesome, guys. I'm really I kind of really want to say sorry. I know my energy was. I'm like the boys today. I was a bit flat. The watch along for me is just that's me, guys. That's my raw emotion to the team. But I loved it. I loved having you guys here. And I love the brotherhood and sisterhood and the community we have here. You guys are great. I appreciate everyone. You pump up the likes, and yeah, I'm trying. I think I'm probably a bit jaded myself, and I might leave it there. But I appreciate everyone coming through. Again, we love this team. We'll support them. But yeah, this is a turning. It could be another moment where, what have you got in the tank? What have you got to give, and what adjustments? I think it's a mental adjustment, right? The guys didn't turn up mentally today. Doesn't matter who's on the field. But the NRL, you have to give 100% every week, and if you dip or drop off, that's what happens. It's the toughest comp in rugby comp in the world. There's no doubt about that. So take it, with a grain of salt, but also, move forward as much as we can. I don't think I'm going to look at the tape, to be honest, guys. No videos from me. But, we'll come back stronger and try and figure things out. I think what has been great about this whole process with you guys is that we get to talk it out, and it's great to hear different opinions. I know, for example, Jacko, we've had our little differences, but it's been great. It's been great to hear, everyone's different side of this. And I don't claim to know everything. And I learn a lot from you guys. And I don't my opinions and how I view things, but I'm just really grateful to have you guys. And it's a video on drop balls. So as you can see here, there's a drop ball which we had 15 times. If you see these 10 line breaks, absolutely, Jacko. No, it's been great. It's absolutely. It makes you think. We all got to think about this and how we can fix it. Yeah, and thanks, Stan. It's a great place to have a laugh, and I hope you guys enjoyed having a laugh tonight while we got our hiding. But yeah, I'll leave it there for now. Guys, try to enjoy the rest of your weekend. Try and avoid the video as much as you can. But no, before you leave, give us a like and subscribe. Massive work by Ash as well. You know what Ash is doing on here. Thanks for Ty and everyone that's coming on. Yeah, we'll keep doing what we're doing. We'll be back on Monday with Josh. Tuesday, we'll be back with Ash. We'll keep doing what we're doing because we love it, people. But if you are here, give us a like and subscribe before you leave. Stay safe. Sup the wahs all day, every day, no matter what. Peace.